Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Malt and Magic, the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin. We are rapidly approaching that year mark. I say it every week, but it baffles me every week, and it's very exciting. So stick around and stay tuned for that. When I say stick around, like it's going to happen tonight, it's not. Stay tuned for the next few weeks to see what we're going to do on that very, very special occasion. I may or may not be planning a few surprises, so we shall see. But let's get on to the game tonight. So let me get my thank yous out, my shout outs out to Owlbear Rodeo, to Incarnate, to D&D Beyond for mapping, game management tools, virtual tabletop, Hero Forge, and D&D Beyond really for character creation and character management, and then my sort of Patreon tools that I use, or Patreon services, patrons, whatever you want to call them, Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop. And then, as always, for the music, for the ambience, tabletop audio, and not forgetting Battle Bards. If you do want to get some sound effects in your game, go check out Battle Bards. I said every week, please go use that code. Use the Malt and Magic code as you register, and you'll get yourself some nice cheeky discounts. Go check out the social media. You can see the channels on the bottom there. So at Malt and Magic, or at Malt_Magic for Twitter. Instagram's there, YouTube, you name it, we're there. What else can I say? Podcast. How can I forget the podcast? So yeah, go check out the podcast on your podcast platform of choice. If you do have the function to be able to leave a like or a review on your podcast platform of choice, please do. It always helps. Helps to get the word out as well, but also allows you to go back, listen to those past episodes, revisit some of your favourite moments, or just revisit some of the earlier episodes if you can't remember what's going on. Like me, sometimes I do have to go and revisit those episodes. The website is up as well. That's got all the podcast episodes as well as the YouTube episodes, and the links there as we release them. A shout out as always to Tales of Teal'nar as well, the other or sister D&D stream, as I'm calling it, or sister D&D series. Check that out on YouTube. DM'd by our very own Samau. Great bunch of characters. You will massively enjoy it. And I suppose that's it. There was quite an emotional week last week, so we will get right into it. There will be adult language and most certainly adult humour. You have been warned. Good evening.
Hello.
When you say
Happy Monday night, or
that's
Happy Monday.
say again, mate.
When you said you're planning something for the year anniversary, that's made me nervous.
And so it should.
How good?
No, it's the year mark. I could not do something special on the year mark, can I?
Yeah. You could try and kill off some more characters, I suppose.
7 more
I
close
have
NPCs
yet
will
to kill
die.
off a character. I have yet to kill off a character. None of you have successfully died yet.
Yeah, but you forced us to kill an important NPC last week, essentially.
I didn't force you to do anything.
I knew that was going to come up.
That is true.
It is.
I never force you to do anything. The choices are all yours. Could have just
You're
walked away.
Could have.
Anyway, on that note, last week...
Like we were gonna. You lined it up. You knew what we were gonna do.
I have my suspicions as to what you would do, to be fair. D&D is one of those games where you can never 100% predict what the party's going to do. Anyway, as a recap of last week, obviously with spoilers for those that haven't seen last week's episode. If you haven't seen last week's episode, anyway, what are you doing? Why haven't you watched it yet? Honestly, get on with it. No, thank you for joining us anyway. Yeah, after this. But so last week we finally got the cure for Anders Mage Blight. Did a full ceremony with the Summer Dryad, or the Dryad of the Summer Grove, and yeah, Ander is now back to full fighting force, or at least his magic is back to where it should be, which means more fun. However, there were some subtle changes to Ander as well, having gone through this ordeal. The Dryad then directed you towards the throne of Phalead, which was the remaining elements of the city of Phalead that now exists in the Feywild. You headed over there to go and find Captain Swift, the crew of the Winter's Tale, and discover what has befallen or what has become of Vraco. In getting there, you had a very, very frosty reception from the crew of the Winter's Tale. Dargon reacquainted himself with Captain Swift's knee, using his chin, and even Gore, the sort of most friendly of the crew, was less than welcoming. They have all agreed to pack up and come home with you, finally happy that somebody has come to rescue them from the Feywild. And you made your way alone as a group, as a party, to go and see Vraco, who had been removed from the city, or what was left of the city, having seemingly potentially killed Movud, killed other members or other civilians within the city of Phalead, and then being imprisoned within a steel cage on an island in the middle of the river that runs through this area of the Feywild. You investigated the island, you saw Vraco himself, not himself anymore. Clearly in the thrall of a vampire lord, or the vampire lord that you've met, you know, don't really know at this point, but very much turned, his cleric abilities twisted, and what started as a conversation very quickly escalated into a brawl as Dargon reached out, grasped him, grappled him. There were some interesting mechanics with a shrinking cage. Eventually Vraco got free. The nuke that almost happened, and I may have got some things wrong as a DM there. We discussed it on More Magic and More, and my apologies to the group for that. It made for good narrative anyway. But in the end, Vraco was killed, and the body had fallen to the floor. I believe Dargon had gone to pick it up, and that is where we left it last week. So we begin our episode today in a very somber situation. Kirik and Bothrid are both currently on the banks of the river, and Dargon, you still on the island itself. The body of Vraco before you. These huge great fissures in the ground around you as well. And the body lies still. The twilight sunlight shining down from the Feywild around you, that weird magical effect, magical light effect. All is quiet. There are no bird song, or there is no bird song. No sound of the small fey creatures that you've seen flitting around. Just a body, lots of blood, and lots of carcasses of smaller fey littered around. What are we doing?
Dargon hasn't actually picked up Vraco's body. It was more the fact I think it was close to him and would have just dropped him. Or whatever happened at the end of the fight. With his body on the floor, Dargon will just fall to his knees, shout out, nothing like intelligible, just a guttural roar, and at that point, it's just there.
I will place 2 copper coins on his eyes and say safe passage. That's my little superstition.
Okay. Bothrid looks to you, Kirik. Is it done? Are we finished here?
I think we are, yes. I do believe we're carrying the body. I believe that's the plan. That one made a promise, so body needs to be delivered. But I think they're just having a moment.
He was a good friend to Dogon. Sad that he is gone now.
Yes, it sounds like they were fairly close. I didn't get to know him that well, but he seemed like a good man before what happened.
Did we do this?
He taught me all my magic.
You won't be able to hear this, by the way, Dargon, because you're on the island currently.
Cool. Oh yeah, they're off the island, aren't they?
Yeah,
We're on the
big
riverbank.
Goliath ears, but they're not that good.
Yeah, Bothrid turns to you, Kurt. Did we do this? Is this our fault?
No.
So very sure.
I am. I know who did it. And we're coming for them.
That I can do. We get our revenge.
Indeed.
Dargon, you made a promise to return him to Moonbright. How? I don't know how we're going to get safe package, but we need to find some way or something to carry him in.
Me. I'll carry him the whole way. It's what he deserves.
How are we going to get off the island with him?
He taught me the magic I used to use. I use it once more for him. And he casts Levitate.
Ooh, good call. It's good job we didn't get rid of that.
Yeah. As he does.
The body just
Yeah.
lifts off the floor.
And with a very gentle push, just pushes him out towards where we were going to be. That should have enough momentum to get him up and over where the rest of the guys are. And then...
So I'll say you push him sort of out over the riverbank, and
yeah,
as he sort
And
of... the body floats over.
I will use message to just say incoming to Kirik. I've got the cantrip message.
You
so
could
I'll use
just
that.
shout it, but yeah, okay, use message,
I'm
fine.
being respectful. I'm letting Dargon have his
Okay.
moment.
Heads up, Bothrid.
and yeah,
Bothrid sees the body come floating over.
with
Plus, I
the,
haven't used the spell yet.
with the control of Levitate, I then gently rest it to the floor and will then get a bit of a run up and just jump off and land the other side of the river.
So what was a quiet moment as Vraco's body just gently touches the grass, you then hear this...
Given
Superhero
my
landing.
strength rating, I don't think I could do the running jump. But I could do an acrobatic pole vault if any of the bars of the broken cage are long enough. Or I'll just try and jump it for a laugh and do a shit roll.
You still can, can't you? What's your strength score?
Well, athletics check is plus
8.
1. So yeah, go on, fuck it, I'll have a run up. I don't fancy turning it into an amphibious creature yet. So I will have a run up. I'll try and do what Dargon did.
Yeah, okay. If you're going to try this, let's... I will, for this, let you make me a dexterity acrobatics check.
Whee! So I'm going to do it like a spring tuck backflip. Then. Oh, how about that? 28.
28, as you do sort of very lithely run, flip over, nimbly land on your feet, and sort of stick the landing.
I'm expecting Dagon to hold up a 10. He's not in the mood, though.
Yeah, he wasn't even looking. We'll
In
go.
fact, nobody saw. Their whole party is looking down at Vraco's body.
And then Dagon goes and very, very carefully picks up Vraco's body.
Okay.
Dagon, do you mind putting the body on the floor just for a second?
What for?
Well, if we're going to be traveling with a body, we probably don't want it to decay, especially if we want to deliver it somewhere. I can stop that.
Very well. Gently place him on the floor again.
And I will take out a pinch of salt and I'll place it kind of along the body. I'll start other incantations and I will ritual cast gentle repose.
Yep.
And what you see is that the salt is actually going to kind of rise from the body and starts taking several shapes that are just going to kind of circle the body for a second, and you see a raven feather that then turns into a two-bladed quarterstaff, and then a long bow, and then a radiant sword, before eventually settling into the body.
Nicely done.
Very nice. Very nice. And there is almost a shimmer that goes across the body as well. The 2 copper pieces on each of the eyes. There's my token mic kit. 2 copper pieces that are on the eyes actually glow slightly with this sort of that black energy that you associate with Kirik's magic. And yeah, Vraco almost returns to that vibrant blue glow, that blue shade that you remember him being, the blue scales of the blue dragonborn.
And Dagon, I know that you want to carry him, but Vraco's body, if not Vraco himself, has done, well, something that's apparently very bad within the land, so in order to not perhaps annoy, for lack of a better word, the Eladrins and even Captain Swift herself, perhaps it's best if we place the body in bag of holding or something of the like, and we keep it there for the near future.
I could shrink him if you want.
For how long? That sounds a good idea.
That's a very good question. Let me consult my brain for a second. Oh, never mind. It's up for a minute. That's a waste of time. Fucking hell, could you imagine?
I like the fact that you continue to think of other people. And I know he's done wrong. But I'm going to carry him. As he's talking, he's going to take. Dagon's going to take off the shoulder and, cape that he's worn for for about a week now, I think. Maybe a couple of weeks longer. And with it being a Goliath, I assume it's going to be quite large, and we'll attempt to wrap Vraco's body.
And even though it's for a Goliath, the Dragonborn himself was quite big.
Yeah.
Not quite the half-giant statue or the giant blood stature of yourself, but you manage to sort of at least cover the head, the shoulders, the face in a dignified manner that is befitting of a fallen comrade.
Yeah, I do it well. It's well wrapped. I take some time and care. We should remember him for who he was, not what he is now. I will carry him, but I ain't going back in the city. I'll wait outside.
That sounds like a good plan.
I don't want to see inside a city. You'll have to do it.
Did Captain Swift say she was going to meet us on the outskirts of the city anyway? Or do we have to go in? I mean, it might be courteous for me to go in and to tell them we've at least dealt with the Vraco problem, so they know.
Here,
If I
Ander, and I throw you the sending stone. Best you talk to him if you're going to do anything. I know that they've all been through a lot, but I don't think I'm the one to do any talking anytime soon.
And if I go into the city with you, and Buthridy can perhaps stay with Dagon on the outskirts.
Okay. Yes.
Well, let's head out then.
I suppose I'll have to tell Captain Swift we're coming back, because she's it's probably been, well no, we're on the same time zone now, so it'll be alright, won't it? So get 25 words. We have dispatched of Vraco. He is no more. We are returning back to the Eladrin city. Where shall we meet? Love, Ander?
And there's a brief moment, and what you actually get, the initial response is a small chuckle. Well, a sad day, but you did what you must. We'll see you on the outskirts. Hugs and kisses. Said in a very sardonic tone as it comes through to your brain.
I think I played that well. I have to say as well, Dave, great choice of somber music in the background.
Oh, I was ready. To be fair, I'd had this for months.
Ready.
Ready.
We all need to be chopping some onions so we can have teary eyes as well. I'm glad my emotional outburst thing wore off from last week. Look away at that shit.
So you make a very slow, careful march back towards Phaliad, or the throne of Phaliad, following the river. And eventually at one point the guard that had led you a certain way steps out, seemingly out of nowhere. None of you had noticed him, not with your passive perception scores. And he just sort of looks to you all, looks at the body that Dagon carries, lifts his head, and then angles as if to say follow, and he leads you. And you continue along past the river, through the trees. Every now and again he stops you, and you can hear things moving in the forest, and then he sort of guides you on further, and eventually you begin to see the buildings or the sort of the tree-like constructions that form out of the trees around into the elven, the Eladrin city of the Throne of Phalead. And he continues to walk towards it.
Ender and I will follow him.
And he sort of looks questioningly at Dargon and Bothrid
I don't say anything.
as they sort of stop. Okay.
Those two will wait here. Do I spot Captain Swift anywhere? Yes.
No.
Okay.
You are at this side of the outskirts of the city. Captain Swift is not here.
Well,
The
that's
guard then
fine.
turns
Information
around and sort of says,
is-
"Why are they waiting here?"
They thought it wise not to drag a dead Vraco through the city and dredge up any bad memories that may be there, but we thought it wise us to have an audience with your king to let him know that Vraco is no longer a problem, and to bid farewell.
I
and thank
assume
him
you're
for his-
then returning the way you came.
Hopefully.
Well, if they don't want to enter the city, I suggest they walk around. Tell you
Is that
what,
a big detour?
Walk around.
don't walk around.
Walk around.
The woods are dangerous. I'll take them to the other side. You guys continue on ahead. The other guards will meet you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And he turns, sort of looks around, and beckons to Dargon and Bothrid. Follows on, and he begins to lead them sort of away into the woods. And you do actually see him for quite a way, but eventually sort of melds into the forest. Dargon and Bothrid following along behind somewhere. And you head towards the city now. The city is relatively quiet. There's no longer the sound of sort of hammering and planks being joined together as the crew of the Winter's Tale have sort of stopped their work at this point. You do meet two guards who sort of see you and halt you, look inquiringly at you. Is it done?
Well, it's not.
And what of your
May we
other
have an
allies?
audience with your king? Oh, they didn't want to. We're returning the body to its home, to have a final resting place, and we thought it wise not to bring it through the city. So they're going around. We thought that'd be the most respectful way.
Okay. The king will certainly want to hear this. With me, then. And he sort of just gives a look to the other guard, and the other guard nods, takes a more central position on the road. Pulls off a bow, sort of has the bow strung in one hand and a hand on the sword in the other, and just looks out. And this same guard then leads you back through the sort of the winding paths, up a wooden staircase onto the sort of treehouse-like structures now, and the bridges that cross from tree to tree, and eventually you come to that huge, great central tree, where it sort of opens into a chamber, into a hall of sorts at the far end, that wooden throne with moss, vines and leaves wound around it, but you also see flecks of gold, and seated upon it a very regal looking Eladrin, still difficult to understand what gender or sex this individual might be, but judging by the fact they call him king, you assume a male. The voice itself is difficult to tell as well as you approach. And so
I'll take a knee.
nods his head.
come with news, my king.
Yes. Okay, get on with it.
Okay. Vraco is no more. You don't have to worry about him. He could not be saved, so we vanquished him. I thought you should know.
Vanquished.
He's dead.
And you're 100% certain?
Definitely.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And the body?
We are returning him home. We made a promise to return him dead or alive.
I think that is best.
We
Will
are
take
also
a
going
while to
return-
cleanse that particular stain from our history.
Hopefully we've set you on that path. We're also going to return the outsiders home as well, and we are taking those with us. So all should be right in your kingdom again. Well, as right as it can be, considering.
It's not the first time we've had tragedy. I'm sure it won't be the last. Is there anything else you need while you are here?
Yeah, you mention it. May I ask two things? One, hopefully you see this as the start of an alliance between us and yourself and your great kingdom. Hopefully, I was hoping to acquire some of your absolutely unrivaled weaponry. I see your mate Samuth had the most exquisite bow I've ever seen, and I was hoping to lay my hands on some of your fine weaponry. Obviously, I'll pay, but if you want to give it as a reward for Vraco, I'll happily take it.
You wish us to sing you a bow?
I would love one.
Sorry, what did he say?
He says you wish us to sing you a bow.
I thought that's what he said.
Sing, as in la 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm intrigued to see what that means.
Our bows are... well, as you can see, they are special. They will certainly not come cheap. You did rid us of, well, whatever he had become. But in the same vein, I'm led to understand that it is because of you that he is, well, here. Reward? Maybe not. Leaves an ill taste in the mouth. But for a price, perhaps.
What is your price?
What sort of bow do you require?
Ooh. What are my options?
Well, we sing bows of many kind. If you have a particular foe, then we can ask the trees, ask the magic to help you in that endeavour. If there is particular abilities you wish to acquire, then sometimes the forest is forgiving enough to grant it.
You've given the most indecisive man options. So, to be honest, I think I've got too many enemies of too many types to pick an arrow. I mean, a bow that kills a certain type. Plus,
And what of your fighting style?
I'm more of a hang back, hide in the shadows, sneak attack kind of guy.
Interesting.
Some would say I scout ahead for danger and then hide myself and surprise people with my attacks from range.
Here's the bow of deadly silence.
I hope so. The bow of everlasting arrows, that'd be good.
Infinity arrows.
So I will... I think a bargain can be struck here. Your friends are not the first outsiders to land in the throne of Phaleod, in our great city. Others have landed and settled here. A small band of villagers. They were led here, seemingly under great distress. We have yet to really discuss with them. They very much keep to themselves on the outskirts of the other side of the city, near to where your exit is, among the ruins. They were led here by a half-orc.
Say what?
Take them with you. That will be part of the payment. I hate your faces when I'm trying to do this.
You essentially want me to do
So
Moses.
many like
All
ting
right.
ting ting. We will call that part of the payment. Take them home. Those who are not our kin were not made to live in the Feywild. It does things to people of, well, less Fey-touch stature. And then, well, is it just gold you have? What coin do you carry?
I have platinum, gold, silver. I used to have loads of precious
Platinum
gems, but
would-
unfortunately I lost them in an unfortunate card incident.
Platinum would be better for us. Easier
Okay.
to, or more powerful to work with. I think let's call it 600 platinum plus the people. I sense this won't be the last we see of you anyway.
No, I may have to make an annual pilgrimage to the Feywild. So I made a promise to the Mother Tree.
You've spoken to the Mother Tree.
Yes. You could say I have a strong relationship with her daughter.
You are far more interesting than you first appeared.
Thank you.
Bring no more ill energy to my city. If you have a yearly pilgrimage to the Mother Tree, then make that your only stop.
Oh, so I can't.
will
drop
sing
it
you a
for
bow.
visit, no? Okay.
Unless you need us, I would prefer you didn't. Too much bad blood. Quite literally.
Appreciate that.
We had only just recovered from the last tragedy, and then this befalls us.
What tragedy would that be? You don't happen to have any Eladrin kin that may have gone off the rails a little bit, do you?
I sensed his touch on you.
Yeah, I'm seeing a therapist about that. I can show you on this doll where he touched me if you like.
No need, no need. He betrayed us. Part of the reason the ruins are the ruins is because of him. Touched by
If it makes you
something
feel
beyond
better.
this land.
He is a sworn enemy of mine. And that's why I was a bit cagey when you asked me, did you want the bow to slay any particular enemies, because I didn't really want to say Eladrin, because I thought that'd be a bit uncouth.
No, but it has all but reinforced my agreement to sing you a bow. the price remains the same.
I will
But
hand
know
over-
this, that takes the coin and sort of hands it off to a guard. Know this, we will have our greatest weaponsmiths sing the bow, and I hope it delivers the final blow. I hope arrows with this bow pierce through the very black heart of that insipid bastard. And when it
I can
does,
promise you that.
find the deepest pit and throw his body into it.
That I can definitely do.
It will take us probably an hour to sing the bow. Your friends wait on the western side of the city. You can go and join them, and we will bring the bow to you. Or, well, it would be remiss of me to turn down coin. If you have it, you may spend it. I will allow this visit, depending on your needs.
We
I'm looking
have
Kirik.
been fighting this enemy that has betrayed you for quite a long time now. He seems to have a particular interest in us, and yet we know nothing about him. I was wondering, perhaps you could give us a name that we could go by.
Well, the name he used to have while he was here was Theo Godden.
Let's call that
was that?
motherfucker!
Although I doubt he goes by that name anymore.
Theo Godden.
Theo Godden. I will. I'll send it to you. You know,
I'll spell that wrong on the internet, so you'll have to, yeah.
you will spend it wrong.
Theo Godden.
Spend it wrong. Spell it wrong on the internet. Theo Godden. There you go.
Right.
Better be an apostrophe in there somewhere.
He spelt it in Welsh.
Not in
it's
that
just
one.
loads of L's and Y's and Z's.
But yeah, that's all he said. All he says to you is just his name is Theo Godden, although I doubt he goes by that name anymore.
Well, there is more information that we had when we came in, so I thank you.
Yeah.
I would like
Be wary.
to use message again
The skills-
to ask Kirik. Should we ask him about the prophecy?
And while you
Because
do
I'm
that, the
thinking-
king says, be wary, the skills, some of the skills at least, he learned from us. And you've seen how well our guards and our hunters blend into the surrounding. His other powers, well, you certainly won't see that here.
I will
That message
think,
then ping in your head.
I will think back. No.
Good, because I was about to ask him, so I'm glad I checked.
And you sort of, you go,
Well, we
something else?
thank you for we thank you for your hospitality, and I believe we will. Well, Ander here might want to have a peruse around the shops. I'm sure you have ways of finding us. So once the bow is ready, you can deliver it to us, and we will get out of our way.
I would actually just like to probably just spend the time in a bit of quiet reflection, actually, if I may. Basically, long story short, I want to use some hit die to get some hit points back, and I want to attune to the Ring of Counterspell, just in case.
Okay. Might I suggest, if it's quiet reflection, that you head towards the edge of the city then? Head towards the western edge. My friend here
Thank you.
will take you.
Kirik, are you sure you don't need any components for any of your magic? Considering my bag of gems is missing now.
That's a good point. I will actually pop into a shop.
Anything in particular?
Oh boy. Well, incense and diamonds are I am always on the search for.
Well, given platinum seems to be the currency here, I'll give Kirik 500 platinum to go shopping with.
Jesus.
Thanks.
I don't know how many diamonds he's going to need. I expect change, though, my friend.
That's like 10 diamonds. How bad are these battles?
What is it? Is that 500? Is that 5,000 gold, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is 5,000 gold.
That's enough. That's enough for a decent diamond, isn't it?
Or 10.
Yeah.
He looks and said, well, diamonds, not something you find often here.
Oh, I'll have my money back.
However, incense we make. Samath, take them to Hesperia. I'm sure she can provide what they need.
I'll go with Kirik.
Thank you.
Do I want to go with him? Yeah, I want to go with him.
There.
A, because I'm curious now what the shop's going to have, and B, I've just given him loads of money, so I'll regret it instantly. So I want to actually keep an eye on that. So fuck attunement at the minute. I'm following the money now.
Okay.
If during
Samith.
your at one point, this point, if we, Bothrid and I do get round to the edge, we would take a short rest whenever that may be. So let me know.
We're getting there. So Samath takes the two of you and sort of leads you back down out of the hall along one of the walkways, down another winding set of stairs, and you're brought to this. It's almost like a courtyard of sorts, where it's a circle of these tree-like structures. And out of the open door of one of them is just sort of a purplish smoke that comes out. And he sort of points and nods. Hesperia will be in there. Might want to duck under the smoke. It can just duck under it.
We'll do that.
Palmy wants to huff it in.
I was just going to say, a tenor that Anders sniffs it.
What would happen if I did?
I take my leave.
Out of curiosity.
Are you asking that to Samath? Or are you asking that to me?
No, I'm asking that to Samath.
Well, I suppose that depends on the day and what he's brewing. But, some charm, some make you forget, some give you visions, some... And he sort of seemingly disappears for a moment, lost in a memory. Well, some just are... Yeah, just be careful. I shall wait along the western ring there.
He's not really put me off, Kirik, I'll be honest.
I think we avoid it for now.
Yeah, I've only just been cured of mage blood. I don't want to end up with someone else. That's a very good point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At this point, Dargon and Bothrid, you have been sort of led on a huge circular ring around the city. And you've had sort of a few words with the guard who introduced himself as Aaron. But other than that, there's not been too much conversation. Dargon, you're obviously still in your silence.
Yeah, there's very little conversation for me, if at all, if any. You know, maybe Bothrid's the only one replying, to be honest.
And Bothrid is sort of asking a few questions here and there, a little bit intrigued by the way that this individual moves through the forest and can communicate seemingly with the forest. Bothrid sort of shows him a little bit of druidcraft, and then they carry on. And eventually Aaron sort of stops, kneels and turns to you. Your friends are just ahead. I will return to my rounds now. I'm sure if you wait there, your friends, your other friends, will be along soon. Perhaps now is time to reflect on what happened, maybe? I know it was bad for us, but you seem like you've lost someone close, dear to you. And you have my sympathy. And he sort of places a hand on your shoulder. Dargon looks into your eyes, so... Sorry for your loss.
And yours. Too much death here. Too much.
It is the one sure thing in life.
Too true. Thank you.
Good luck on the rest of your journey. I kinda hope we don't meet again.
No offense taken.
And with that, he disappears off into the bush and beyond. And you can sort of see now in a little clearing, and you can see over to the right hand side part of the city, and you can see Captain Swift, Karstan, Gore. I'm forgetting the names of all my characters now, so my brain has just gone.
Geo.
So
I always forget Teenage Mutant
yeah,
Ninja Turtles.
so you see Charlie, you see Bralin, you see Karstan, Gore, you see Hedam and Geo.
There we go.
Hedam himself is missing an arm.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Is it in his shell or is he just... It's gone?
You see a stump where an arm once was.
Oh shit. Have they noticed us?
Not at the minute.
Bothrid, do you mind going ahead? I'll be behind you, but I think for now I'll rest up a little ways away from them. You can do what you want.
I'll let them know when they're, and tell them we're keeping Vraco away,
Yeah.
so as not to well, make them angry.
Yeah. That's a good plan. I'll stay in sight of them.
We'll get them, Dargon.
We
We'll get
will.
'em.
There's more to do, though. But we will.
Okay. You stay here. I'll be back. And Bothrid sort of dashes off through, and as he bumbles through the forest, you can see the crew sort of all turn and various weapons get drawn, and sort of they turn for a moment and you see Charlie and Bothrid sort of have a conversation. Charlie sort of looks around, nods towards you,
Nod back.
and then pats Bothrid on the shoulder. Bothrid turns and comes back. And sort of comes with you. Don't wait.
Cool.
Let's shall we rest?
Yeah, I'm gonna rest.
Okay. So Bothrid's going to use a quick 2 hit die.
I'm going to regret not using my hit die following Kirik to the shop, aren't I?
For all of 3 fucking hit points back. It's the worst short rest ever. Okay, that puts Bothrid up to 96.
Seeing that Ander is actually slightly hurt, I will pop a 3rd level cure wounds on him.
Okay.
23 points of health. Sorry, I was doing maths.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you. Doing that.
You don't have to tell me about doing maths. It's a constant struggle for me. Anyway, so you two are now currently stood outside of this. It's literally like a tree hut. Like the house is built into this tree with the leaves coming out the top of it. There's a door, a window, this sort of purplish smoke coming out. There is movement beyond, you can't quite see what, but there is certainly movement in the room.
Well, step in, I suppose.
You ducking under the smoke?
Yeah.
Okay, so you duck under the smoke and sort of step in, and you can see that the smoke itself is actually coming out of a cauldron in the centre of this circular room, which is over a fire. And you sort of step around the edges. Seemingly the smoke itself is being funneled up and out of the room itself. And a very old looking Eladrin woman turns hair almost down to the floor. Very pointed ears, skin white, hair even whiter still, robes of a very pastel lilac type colour. And she just sort of turns. More outsiders. What can old Hesperia do for you?
Good day. We were just on the hunt. I am looking for a couple of items that I require for some of my most potent spells, and I was told that I might be able to find such items here.
Got coin, have you, boy?
We do.
What you need?
Well, I am looking for a assortment of oils, herbs, and incense, as well as a fairly expensive jewel, probably worth around the 1,000 gold pieces if you have something of the like.
Expensive jewel? Don't get many of them round here. However,
well, if you have any, I'm happy to take it off your hands.
Herbs and oils I can do. Anything in particular, or just assortments?
An assortment, perhaps something that would keep... Something that is believed to keep the evil forces out of a house or the like.
That was very Yoda-esque, that, wasn't it?
Found something I think you have.
Garlic, I think, works well, yeah.
My smoke,
Totally
this
fucking
is.
thrown me off now.
Sniff it, you must.
Oh,
Sniff it, you
God.
must.
She turned and goes, 1 minute. And disappears.
Do or do not.
Off,
There is
and
no
you can see her
try.
sort of rummage around in... rummages around in various drawers and sort of pulls out little jars and a few wrapped up bundles, and sort of then brings it back and places it on a table in front of her. If I suspect your intentions. This should suffice. Enough there for
thank you very
perhaps
much.
a couple of uses.
Thank you.
She sort of looks at you knowingly.
How much are we? How much am I paying for this?
Well, coin's interesting around here. It's, well, we trade in it, but only to use it, if you understand.
Of course.
So, I mean, it's not difficult stuff to come by, this stuff. Not around here. I'll be willing for a couple of gold pieces, I'll do it. I can use the gold. Be good gold, mind you. None of that veiny shit sometimes you buggers from the outside bring.
I will.
To make it more worth your while, have you got any special stuff in the back? I don't mean drugs. I mean special potions, any enchanted items, anything that might help me on my quest.
Yeah, potions I can do. Herbalism is my... well, I'm good at making things like that. Potions for health, I assume?
Potions of healing, but I'll also take any potions that may permanently improve me in certain areas, not sexually.
The nature of a potion is that it never is permanent. It will only last as long as it's in your system. And unless you don't digest, well, it's an impermanent thing.
What I'm saying is, I want a selection of your best stuff.
You're very vague, you two.
Well, unless you've got a catalogue, I'm not really sure what you've got for me to ask for.
Have you got the Semacore catalogue, please?
Have you had any returns? You know, maybe the box is a bit scuffed or something. You know,
Yeah.
we don't mind scratches on the bottle. It's fine.
I look forward to the Nylon version of Argos where the catalogue's just there as you went.
I'll have Alpha to.
Oh man.
Let me see what I've got.
Have you
She
got
disappears
that in
into the back and
abjuration?
sort of you hear the clinking of glass bottles, and she sort of comes back with an arm full of these bottles of red liquid. Looks like all my simple ones have gone, but I've got 6 of these. Well, they're pretty great, I'm not going to lie. Potions are great at healing.
I know what you're saying. I'll have all of them, please, thank you.
By all means, I'll make some more. That's going to be... whew. Well... Matt's got to do maths. Talk amongst yourselves.
So for the international viewers, Argos is... Dave, you're on mute.
I am muted.
What
yes.
would be the American equivalent? Does Walmart do a
Of
catalogue?
Argos. I don't think there is an American equivalent of Argos. I think Argos is
just a
the
British
total
thing.
unique shopping
Very
experience.
British, very unusual.
Don't get it anywhere else.
It's essentially the shopping channel in real life.
Yeah, I suppose
is
that is exactly what it is.
Such a good
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, real life catalogue
It
shopping.
It is the only place where you use a catalogue to pick an item and pay for it before you pick the fucking item up.
Apart from Screwfix, which is the male version of Argos.
Well,
That was very
Matt is
sexist,
gender
Mr. X.
That was
stereotype,
very
he's gender
sexist, I
stereotype
apologise.
power to my missus has a toolbox, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
It's not full of dildos before you ask.
Anyway, we digress. So She looks and you can see she's doing some maths in her head and... Shall we call it 1 platinum, if you've got it? And... No, that's wrong. Not 1 platinum. 10 platinum. And 10 gold. 11 platinum, if you will. My brain's not what it used to be.
I'll just look at Kirik and be like, give the woman the money. She's losing the player.
I will
Before it
throw
changes.
11 platinum in.
And give me my £489 change.
Yeah. There you go.
How much do I owe you? 20 quid. Lovely. And here's your change. Cheers.
I do have this little thing as well.
Sold.
And she pulls out this bottle of bluish liquids that seemingly bubbles inside the bottle, and you can see what looks like steam seemingly looping around inside of it.
What does it do?
Well, it's make you feel a bit healthier, and also make you, well, a bit better at things. Many heroes have taken something like this from my shop, and you look like the heroic type.
What do you call it? What is the name that you give it?
Me? I just call it the blue potion. I got red potions, I got pink ones, I got green ones.
Great. I think we'll take it, and I'm sure my friend here will be.
The last one
very
who
interested.
took it, though, well, he called it heroism.
Yep, I'll have one of them. Actually, you say you've got one. You've got one of every colour. You say. What else? You
Oh
got
no.
green ones. You say. They're like Skittles. Place the
Well,
rainbow.
the green ones are a bit less for your taste, if you get what I mean. They're more for others if you don't want them to, well, breathe, really.
Poison is what we're saying.
Poison.
Well, poisons, potions, what's the difference?
I'll have one of them.
Okay.
Quite a few enemies.
And Tisbear's back.
It's a potion of heroism. I'm all about that.
You get a potion of heroism,
That's a sweet potion.
Yeah.
and you also get
I like
a
this
potion
already.
of poison. And she looks at you and says, "Well, for those two, it's going to be an extra 4 platinum."
No problem. Have some of that.
I like this platinum. I'll do a lot of platinum.
I like your shop.
Anything else? Thank you.
Have we gone through all the colours? Have we covered all the bases? Got any
I
purple
think
ones?
that's what you'll be needing for now.
Okay.
Well, the purple one I'm brewing. And again, probably best not to sniff it.
Oh, it's
Might be
fine.
funny.
Okay. I'll leave that one, I think. What is actually, you've piqued my interest. What is it? How long will it take? Is it nearly ready? He reels
She
me
looks
in
at you,
every fucking
Kirik.
time, doesn't he?
I suggest you take this one. He's far too curious for his own good. And that purple one will send him doolally.
We've had that problem before. Thank you very much, and
yeah,
we will
yeah.
get out of your
You're
way.
welcome.
Much obliged, my dear.
And
See you next time.
I'll
Okay.
leave. I will place.
So just to recap.
my hand. I'll place my hand on and
Just
the
to
shoulder so that to
Carry on.
cover him to see that he doesn't go through the smoke.
Lean his head down
I
as
know
you,
what he's like.
like a policeman
I know what he's
leading
like.
someone to the back of the vehicle.
6 potions of healing, 1 potion of heroism, and 1 potion of poison.
plus the assortment of herbs and oils for a certain spell.
I ain't bothered about
Yep.
that.
We'll say for that, Kirik, you've got enough for 3 uses of that particular spell right now.
You got a bargain, mate.
I think we might be thinking of
Probably
different
not,
spells.
actually.
Don't just say yes and then
Maybe.
do it for whatever you was thinking of.
I'll send you a message.
I was going to say, send me a message. I think I know which one you're on about, but
It's got no
Anyway,
diamonds, so it can't be.
so you finish.
a good one.
You exit the shop. No diamonds.
We're fine. It's a long shot anyway.
I tell you what, if I keep a quiet and cool shit, I'm not going to need to wish my stuff back. You see what I'm thinking here?
That's
See what I'm
true.
doing? Gonna get another cool boat.
So Sameth sort of is leaning up against the tree, just sort of looking around as you exit.
Are you going to get a bow
what
and
you need?
arrows?
Oh, you fucking better give me some arrows.
Get what
I
you
said-
need.
Sorry, what did you say?
So he said, "Did you get what you need?"
We did, yes.
Yes. I thought you was a girl last week.
You
I'm not
say
sure
that
whether
out
to be
loud.
offended or
No, that's out of character. I thought she was a girl last week.
Sameth wasn't. No.
Oh. Sorry. For
He
assuming
only
you're
recently
gender.
recovered.
Sameth.
He's still in a... Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind him.
It's one of the things about Eladrin, though. They are very difficult to pinpoint in that regard.
Well,
Androgynous.
Under his pansexual,
Yeah.
to be honest, so he's happy either way.
Oh, so
I hadn't noticed that. I hadn't quite picked up on that, you know.
Cool. So Sameth then turns and says, "This way, then," and begins to weave his way through the city. And Ander and Kirik, make me perception checks, please.
I think this is my first roll of the night, you know, and we're over an
Yeah,
hour
same.
in.
yeah, I haven't rolled yet.
RP
Oh, no,
episode,
tell a lie.
man.
I rolled the acrobatics check.
You did.
That's true.
Ah, yeah.
That was a 16 perception.
26.
16 and 26. Ander, you hear this very faint, but very melodic, very enchanting, very drawing music. And it is a song. And you can feel yourself being pulled towards it almost. Before you sort of shake your head a little bit. You can still hear the music, but you now continue to follow on. And eventually
What is
Samus
that?
sort of leads you through.
Mesmerising music.
Well, you asked for a bow.
I'm
They're
excited.
not simple tools out here. And he continues leading you through, and eventually he comes to that same entrance to the city that you walked through not so long back, the river seemingly running through part of the centre of the city. And you can see Captain Swift and the crew, and you also now notice Bothrid and Dargon just sat resting, probably about, I don't know, 20-30 metres away on the other side. And Sameth just turns. "I'll return with the bow when it's done. Should be another 40 minutes or so, I guess. By your time, anyway."
I'm happy to fast
Thank you,
forward
we'll
that
be
bit.
waiting.
Okay. Now, as a favour, would you two like a short rest in that 40 minutes?
Hell yeah. Got a hit points I can get, my friend.
Yeah, sure.
You've not done anything particularly strenuous, so I will allow you a short rest in that time. And so I'm assuming you then go and join Dargon and Bothrid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the crew just sort of nod their heads towards you. And you make your way to Dargon and Bothrid, and the next 40 minutes pass. And then you see, again, not one, but around 11 or 12 figures emerge from the city and head towards you. Sameth, hood down at the front, his sword by his side, now carries in two arms a wrapped up bundle.
I got a present. It's about at this time that I should probably tell you, Dargon. I might have made a deal with the king in return for information about the Eladrin and a cool new bow. I agreed to take some more outsiders and guard them safely back from the Feywild to Nylin. I only thought it'd be right, and it's probably what Vraco would have wanted.
Thank you, Ander. It's appreciated.
As Sameth approaches, behind him you see a number of villagers of sorts in ragged clothes, dirt on their faces. Joining them to the side, you see a horse. A very large horse. A war horse, if you will. Dargon, you look up and you instantly recognise this particular war horse.
Oh,
it's the
first time you've seen this one.
Light bulbs
Next to the war horse, a half-orc wielding a variety of items, because I forgot to be proactive and actually open his character sheet so I could actually pull that up for you. So please hold caller while the DM gets his shit together.
Did you guys twig that earlier? Because I've only just twigged that.
No, I actually thought of the wrong person, but no, that's sweet.
I thought it could be him.
To be fair, we've literally only seen one other half-orc, and I was still in twig until he said warhorse.
So you see the familiar figure of Grellan walking forward, not dressed in the simple clothes of a stable master that he wore before, but this time carrying a battle axe in one hand, another battle axe across his back, and a very ornate spear strung across the other side of his back. He also carries a longbow in the other hand. And as he approaches you, he actually places the longbow in a leather tube on the side of Thunder the warhorse. And he turns to Sameth and said something inaudible to yourselves, but Sameth sort of nods, hands the bundle over, bows his head, and Sameth returns off. As Grellan steps forward, you see behind him a young boy, probably of around 9, 10 years old. And as those eyes of the boy meet the three of you, they go wide, and then they narrow. And there is a look of very distinct anger on the boy's face. But he continues to follow. And the villagers all follow up as well. And the villagers all now see you, and there's some smiles, some looks of surprise, some looks of shock, some looks of anger as well. But Grellan steps up. Well, boys, it's been a while.
Certainly has.
Grellan, we feared the worst. We heard the whole place was
Yes, have you left Perhaps a conversation to be had on our journey, not here.
Regardless, good to see you alive.
And you? You did, well, you left at probably either the wrong moment or the right moment. Depending on how you look at it.
Is Grellan pleased to see us, or slightly pissed to see us?
Make me an insight check, please.
That's what I was hoping for. Shit. That'll be a 3. I think I'm a little distracted.
Grellan's emotions are very well controlled, very well hidden.
Yeah.
You actually can't tell what he's feeling. His voice is very calm. His demeanour very plain. Make me a perception check as well while you're doing that, please.
13.
The hand that holds the bow... Well, sorry, the hand that did hold the bow and now is looped up under the bundle. Or sort of has the bundle. You can see there are sort of these veins of pinkish, purplish energy that sort of lead up towards the elbow and then seemingly stop. Grellan then turns to you and I believe this is for you. Lucky boy.
Much obliged. I'll take my present and I'll unwrap it like an excited little boy at Christmas.
And as you unwrap it, you see not just a bow, but a leather quiver with these ornate sort of engravings and sort of this looks metallic like filigree around the edge and embroidered through it. The bow itself, the only way to describe it, looks like the most perfect carving of a bow you have ever seen, but studying, you know it has not been carved. There is no way that anybody could carve anything as pristine, as perfect as this, and it matches the bows you've seen on the guards. There is a single bowstring of black that connects the two arms together, and in the quiver are this set of dark wooded arrows with shiny metal tips, barbed tips, and the feathering on them is almost like raven's feathers, but smaller. Maybe the feathers of a crow, or maybe even a blackbird or something like that, but very dark in colour. The quiver is also made of a dark leather. It has been stained dark as well.
Am I going to need to attune to this bad boy to find out what crack is with it? Of course. How many arrows does it come with?
The arrows that you can see, they're currently, you got flick through it, there's about 20 arrows in the quiver currently.
Nice. Thank you, Grellan.
A fine prize.
You seem to have got some new tools yourself since the last time we met.
Well, these aren't new. These have been in my possession for a time.
From a previous life. Again, another story for the road, perhaps.
Away from the city. Too many prying eyes, prying ears. And the villages are long in a place that they do not belong. I trust you have somewhere for them to go.
That I'm sure we do. That I'm sure we do.
Yeah, well,
you may ask you may tell us this on the way. We'll be ready to go very shortly, but how the hell did you get here?
As I said, a story for elsewhere.
Okay. I'm ready to go if you guys are.
I'm ready as well.
If you'll forgive me, Grelin. I'll be walking behind the group.
Suit yourself. The body. You want Thunder to take it?
That's very kind. But no, I'm carrying him.
Suit yourself. Right then, folks. Get this show on the road. Let's get back to, well, I'd say home, but something tells me it's not going to be home. But it's not here. Been here long enough now. We stick together. Nobody runs off. Nobody does anything stupid. Stay with the group. All will be fine. I trust you boys have some way out.
We do. The individual that we have that is going to take us out of here, however, is complicated, to say the least. So he's probably going to make some comments when he sees us all, but I assure you that he's going to take us back.
He can make comments. I can always cut out his tongue.
I approve this message.
Perhaps another time.
He's not the most likeable chap, but he has his uses. So at least wait until we're safe from failure before you hurt him.
If he can get the villagers out, that's all I need. Callum, up front with me. He looks towards the boy.
Grell is just Kratos now. I love it. Cool.
Right, which one of you four is leading on then?
That'd be me.
On you go then, boy. Let's get out of here.
I'll go in front with Ender.
Keeping my eyes
Okay, he's
peeled.
up in front with Ander. Bothrid joins Dargon at the back, not wanting him to be too alone, but still keeping a little bit of distance, appreciating that Dargon himself is in not the best of moods, shall we say. And I think that is the perfect time for us to take a very short break. Hello.
Hello to everyone in chat.
And welcome back. Absolutely. I do forget it some weeks,
And to our
but a
new
huge shout
follower,
out
we
to
love
everyone. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you everybody joining us as well, our devoted viewers. Those who are here with us every week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for sticking with us. For the new people, as we've already said, welcome. Hope you're enjoying it so far. If you're not following us and you're watching, please do drop us a follow. We'd very much appreciate it. Any feedback, drop us a message on social media. We'd love to hear it. And with that, let us return to our game. So, you begin that winding journey now, following the river that leads from the throne of Phaliad down towards the ruins that have been mentioned. You get about an hour out of the city, and you see Grelin sort of look back. Whew. Well, always fun.
You didn't seem like... Well... It looks like you've been through a lot, though, all of you.
Have you been here long?
Whew. Well... Do you know what? I don't really know how much time we've been here. Time passes strangely in this plane. The last thing we did, though, before getting here, before I led what's left of Greenflower here, was run. I mean, you know what happened to the village, I'm sure. The dead just kept rising. And then those they took rose with them.
Yes, we saw the... There was a couple of moments I tried to get in contact with you to see if things were alright, but once we got no response, I peered into Greenflower to a quite a horrid sight.
And there's a village of the dead now. There's nothing left for us there. Save perhaps one thing.
Is it contained within Greenflower, or does it spread across the coast?
I have absolutely no idea. We left in a hurry. We didn't look back.
What thing
And I
in
found the
Greenflower
door.
do you still need?
Well, I don't know if we necessarily need it, but it is certainly worth going back for at some point. Your magic is strong,
Foreshadowing.
cleric. The grave you sanctified was the only one to not rise. She sleeps still. And although Callum here undoubtedly holds some anger, and he looks down towards the boy at this point, towards the three of you, he should be thankful for that. His sister remains. His sister sleeps. She is beyond the touch of every evil now.
Maybe one day we can recover her body.
Well, I was kind of hoping one day we free the village. There's nothing for us there now, not while the dead overrun it. Clearly there's larger things afoot. Whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is started in Greenflower, when it's done, I would like to think you'll help us with that particular challenge.
My specialty is not on making promises, Garland. That's my companion's. But maybe one day. I can't predict the future.
You can see, as the villagers sort of hear this, there's a bit of a stunned look on some of their faces. Grelin, however, sort of shrugs, chuckles a bit. At the end of the day, it's your decision. I can't force you to go, nor would I. But I will make one demand. If you are taking us out of here, these villagers need somewhere to call home. Somewhere to start rebuilding their lives.
We have somewhere.
Somewhere safe. I hope so.
You will be able to stay there until, well, things calm down or Greenflower is free, whichever comes first.
I hope we're all thinking of the same place.
I will do.
The keep is what I'm thinking.
Nope, I was thinking
We have a
Moonbright,
keep
so I'm
now.
glad we cleared that up. Well, the grounds of Glentwag.
It's not a bad shout.
It's been a time since I ventured on so far into the centre of the mainland, but if you say it's safe, well, I trust you.
How did you end up in the Feywild? You said you found a door.
Yes, it's something I'm rather good at. Tell me, have you ever heard of the Horizon Walkers?
No,
Would
I'm not familiar with
I've-
them.
Would I have heard of them from Johannes?
No.
Okay. Now
However,
I'm
you
getting
can
more
roll me
memories
a-
back. Was that it? Now I'm getting more
You
memories
can
back
roll
about
me
my past.
roll me a history check.
Six.
So far, neither of you, and I think Dargon and Bothrid are too far at the back to really care at this point. So you both say no. It's a rare gift, even rarer among our kind. As he looks to you, Kirik. But I was a very good hunter. And then one day I found a door. And it led me not here, but to elsewhere in the Feywild. And it was at that point I realized that I had the ability to step beyond, to find the doors, but ultimately to guard the doors. I spent a lifetime fighting, protecting. And I found a life, and then that life was taken from me. So I retired. But our pasts never truly desert us, do they? The power is there. And so when the time came and the need came, I found another door. And I saved those I could. Therefore I sealed the door.
It's a brave thing you've done.
No. The brave ones are those that stood and fought the dead. while the rest of us ran.
I think there's some bravery in knowing when to run.
Good job,
Fair
dog on
point.
Connie.
So tell me this. The Goliath, the body. Why are you here? What happened? He seems more out of sorts than we previously met.
We've been through quite a journey since we've left Greenflower. And I'll relay the majority of our events of our adventures. And I'll say Dargon and, well, Vraco were... Well, Vraco taught Dargon some of the magic that he uses. So there is a
I know
relation
Vraco.
there.
Vraco visited us just before the dead overran. Just after you yourselves escaped on the boat. And then he was gone. He said he was going to help.
Yes, he came to our aid. And then he was captured. We attempted to rescue him, got caught in one of the strange storms that occurred throughout the land, and they all crash landed into Failure. We had other business that we needed to attend. There was quite the adventure, and we came as soon as we could, but it seems like it was too late.
You're damn right it was too late. Skull sort of sidles up at this point. How long till we get home?
Should be another hour or two.
I not like these woods.
What happened to the ship?
Oh, the ship. It's in pieces. This thing sort of happens when you crash into trees. Did you not see the devastation we caused? Try to rebuild.
So you crashed into the big tree in the middle of the Eladrin city?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I can see why there was a little bit of animosity now.
It's a good thing our captain is quite charismatic.
Wait a minute.
Are we near the ruins yet?
It is as this conversation continues that you begin to see the first ramshackled, destroyed buildings as the river sort of takes a sharp bend to the left and then swings back round to the right, sort of heading, as you would understand, Ander, to the southwest. And at this point you've passed where the battle scene was previously, and you can still see the seemingly charred remains of the trees that attacked you, but you also now notice that there are saplings growing out of those carcasses, if you like. The body of the shambling mound nowhere to be seen.
Matt, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
The person that repurposed the ship was the Stillman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that's gone rogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
You're thinking it's sabotage. You thinking
Did anyone actually? Did anyone actually see how the storm started?
That's some next level thinking, that is.
It was purple. That's all I remember.
I was literally like, as we were as I was talking with him, I was like, "Oh, we should probably tell him about the Stillman." And I was like, "Oh, the ship still? Oh, okay, that's something. Cool. Yeah, cool.
So as Kirik seemingly has a revelation, you are now walking through the ruins. Andy, as you lead the party, you now have a choice.
Did you guys tell me during the 40-minute break or not? Happy either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
I think we'd have said
It's
yeah.
fine. No, it's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You are filled in.
That's what she said.
So you've got two choices here, Under. You can either carry on straight forwards and explore more of the ruins, or you can turn right back along the path towards Ethereal's tower.
I mean, they don't know where we're going, so I can go for option A and style it out.
Okay.
Or we get them home then before we go.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people with us.
God.
That's the only thing.
Fucking.
That's the only thing.
I had enough looking after myself, let alone everyone else. Right.
So, just to make things clear, it's going to take another hour to get from the ruins to the tower.
Yeah.
So it's entirely up to you. You've got an hour there, an hour back, and an hour back to Ethereal's tower once you've explored. Or you can explore it now.
Did Ethereal give us a time window? I can't remember. As in, Samel can't remember. Kirik probably does.
It's been about 24 hours for them, so...
Yeah, well, we don't know how time works, but yeah.
I think he just did admit he's back here, didn't he?
I seem to recall it was some sort of,
Oh, bugger.
yeah. In the unlikely event I wrote it down, let me check.
I definitely didn't. I want to die.
Yeah, my notes are shite.
No, I don't have a time, so I'm gonna assume he didn't give us one.
You didn't.
Oof.
Cool.
Or there's not one that you remember anyway. So.
Yeah, I think we
So
lead.
they-
I think we lead everyone. I think we lead everyone to the tower first. Oh, but if we go to the tower, we need to go to the Malt Masters to say that there's like a bunch of people coming through. We can't just send everyone through, and it's like, what the hell are they doing it?
You could start to lead them on. A couple of us investigating and catch up with you, or just leave them hanging about here. Let them have a rest, and we'll go and have a look. And we'll pretend we're having a rest, and then we'll scout the area to make sure it's safe while we rest. Because they look weary.
That's an option.
If we have stopped outside of the ruins, sort of, while you guys have this natter, Dargon does walk up to the front. These the ruins you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, given the Eladrin is the reason behind these ruins. I think we should investigate, at the very least.
Yeah. Are these guys in danger? Should we get them ahead? Should we even get them all the way back? Get Vraco back and come back? You know, get Ethereal to pull his finger out and get us back here again?
I'm thinking that'll take too long. We could play this off as they can rest here. Grelin and Bothrid can protect them while we go and investigate. If you want, you could even leave Azazel here with them, who could alert you, if that's a thing you can do.
I could always try. We are here.
I'll turn and I'll address the group and I'll tell them all to have a rest and to sit down, west the rear legs, we're on the home stretch. We'll patrol the area, make sure it's safe before we get them home to safety.
Okay. Some of the villagers begin to sort of sit down, sort of find patches of grass. One of them takes out a pipe. Some of them hand out what supplies they have and they sort of eat. Make me a deception check, please, Ander.
Of course.
I would give you a pat on the back to give you guidance before you address.
I can't roll
everyone.
lower than a 10 anyway, so 21.
Still, have that D4.
21.
Before.
I'll take a D4, why not? 24. All told.
It's good, because Grelin rolled a 21 on his insight check. He sort of eyes you suspiciously for a minute.
Thank you, Kirik.
Let's not wait too long, shall we? These people have been here long enough.
Agreed.
As fast as we can.
Should move
Grelin,
at pace.
mind if I take you up on the offer? Temporarily.
Thunder won't mind.
I'll rest Vraco on Thunder and head back to the group.
Cool.
Bothrid.
Yeah.
Just in case, if you wouldn't mind perhaps staying here protecting these people, and if something does happen, shout and let us know.
I think I can do one better. And he turns into the crag cat and stalks around the group.
I
He
will.
just turns to you, lets out a growl, and as he growls, you can sense there's a mid-range volume in it. As if to say, if you hear this louder, come running. And he just begins to stalk around the group.
Kids, feel free to take a ride of the big cat while we're
Don't.
patrolling the perimeter.
I'll summon Azazel, and I will also say, Azazel, stay with the group. Come find us if anything happens. Yeah. Look after them.
We've got to remember there's also...
That's definitely
the
more
Witness
wood
Tale
pigeon,
crew.
Dave.
The Witness Tale crew can look after themselves, so I think they'll be alright.
Well, Gore does step up and sort of looks. Well, this looks like pretty spot to rest. Whatever you're doing, make it short.
I know you're weary, friend. We shall be quick.
I long for the sea, as do we all.
I will meet Ander and Kirik. Get out my shield.
Let's go get in a fight.
Get out my sword. Start walking ahead.
Okay. So you begin to make your way, following the river still somewhat, and there is lots of debris and broken stonework around. And as you follow this route deeper into the ruins, you see 1, 2, 5, 6 structures which could still be considered buildings. And you find 2 more, and then you find the remnants of a bridge across the river. It allows you to precariously cross it. You go one at a time, sensing that the bridge itself is weak, but it means you avoid that potential pull of the river. And then as you cross and you look up towards the edge of this densely forested area where the trees begin to thin out a bit, there is this huge stone-like ruin. Looks like it may have once been either a temple or a court or a palace or something of that grand scale. And the top of it has crumbled away, but through the centre of the actual stonework is this giant jagged crack, almost as if it's just separated in the middle.
Does the building look otherwise intact apart from that massive crack, or is it quite crumbled?
As I say, the top has crumbled away. It's still a ruin,
Yeah.
and it's started to be reclaimed by nature. But this defining feature is this huge, great crack.
What happened here, guys?
Can you pick anything magical about?
Let me see. I'll cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As your eyes sort of bleed into that Detect Magic state, the world around you just bombards your senses with rainbow colour, but as you draw towards the building, it's almost like it's not there. Your Detect Magic vision sees a void.
Ooh.
That's weird, guys. I've never seen this, but it's like I can't even see the building. I don't see anything from it. Is it an illusion, do you think? Nah, an illusion would show up. Well, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to pick up a small pebble, cast a light on it, and I want to throw it like into the building.
Okay. As you do sort of pick that pebble up and thing light and lob it, it gets so far closer and closer, and then it goes between this huge crack, and as it passes between the crack, the light dispels.
Well, we can go in there, but if we do, I have a sneaky suspicion that, well, I may be useless, and all our special items will not be so special.
Oh. What should we do?
Wait. My only concern is that's a little bit too intriguing.
It's too big of a clue. It's got to be. I'd like to go in.
I can try and I don't know if it's magic that's preventing other magic to work. I can try and dispel it, but
It's not a it's not a permanent thing, is it? As in, I may be permanent there, but we walk in, walk out.
I've just got my magic back. I can't lose it again.
Would I know how something like that works?
Make me an Arcana check, please.
16.
16. So the spells and magical effects that you've seen like this before, such as certain wizards and sages you've seen create fields where magic doesn't work, you know that it only exists within that space. You don't, however, know if this is the same thing.
From what I know, when it's something created by wizards or the like, it is a temporary thing, but who knows with the Feywild?
What about if the reason it's dispelling or preventing magic is because it's trapping a magical creature inside it?
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. Well, not similar, but that kind of makes sense. What is connecting a weird building of no magic to our foe?
I'll have to go in and find out. I think I can't answer that question. But maybe you should try and dispel it, Kirik, if you can. So at least we're not defenseless going in or weakened going in.
Before I try that, I am going to... Oops. Drop my dice. I'm going to just close my eyes and focus on the Raven Queen. I'm going to ask if I can have a look inside. I'm going to use Divine Intervention, or attempt to.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
If in doubt.
If in doubt, fuck about.
26.
Oh, that was pretty close. Damn.
That was close, yeah.
What have you got to get?
Your level or
10.
lower.
Yeah, 10 or lower on the percentile die.
Yeah, so you roll a
I asked that
d100
last week.
basically, and if it's your level or lower, then your deity intervenes.
Yes,
You
certainly.
reach out and try and make that beseechment towards the Raven Queen, but in this place, almost seemingly impossible.
Makes sense. Okay. With that in mind, I'm going to roll up my sleeves. It's probably going to be powerful, isn't it? I'm going to try and dispel a third.
Okay.
I'll just kind of look towards it, open my hand, and try to, like, almost, like, cover the area of no magic with whatever I feel is around me.
Okay, make me a spellcasting ability check, please.
Ability check using a spellcaster, so it's a wisdom check. Come on.
Yeah.
Natural 20. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. That's a 25 total.
25 total, natural 20. You reach out with this power, and almost seemingly out of nowhere, the energy of the Feywild rushes through you and just enhances whatever ability you have. And Dargon, with your dispel magic, with your detect magic still on, you see this huge burst of white light just burst out from Kirik and wash over this almost pyramid-looking building. It just sort of surges around it, and as it surges down, there is no longer a void, but you just see sort of shades of grey, almost as if there's no magic, but you can still now see that it is not an anti-magic type effect, and it just slowly washes down this building.
Oh, fucking hell, Kirik. You bloody done it. Also, Anda, I hope you're entirely and completely wrong and that it wasn't keeping something in. Otherwise, fucking run. So,
I could go invisible and have a little look about if you wanted me to scout ahead.
Kirik, you mind doing that trick again? Test it. I'll find a stone and hand it to you.
Yeah, kind of like my hand slightly tingling from the magic.
No worries.
Grab the...
I'll do it. I'll do it. I forgot I can do it.
Is it like pins and
Kirik's
needles when
actually
you
there,
sit in
sort
the
of
toilet
like...
too long?
Howie. Yeah, so I'll cast light.
Touching his fingers, just like that.
Yeah.
I'll cast light on a stone and lob it in.
Roll initiative.
So the stone...
Still
The
lit.
light continues to glow.
There you go, mate. You done it. Right. Let's go find out.
Eyes open though.
You're right, Kirik.
Yeah, I'm good. Just slightly surprised. Not kind of like
Landing of the stone and the light. Does that cause any disturbances that I detect? Not in the force.
Make me a perception
obviously.
check, please.
I kind of don't want to roll this dice anymore. Just stay there with a 20.
Just leave it on the natural 20.
just forever.
Isn't that your second one as well?
Yeah, the very first roll I did for warm up was a 20 with that dice. So it's serving me well today.
I only got a 12 perception.
You don't hear any movement, you don't sense anything apart from the skittering of the stone on the floor. All seems very silent. It's very eerie.
Alright, let's go in then.
Yeah, let's get this over and done with. It's starting to freak me out.
Yeah, we shouldn't stay here long. Let's find as much information as we can and then go run.
Okay. As you enter this building and you make your way basically to where this huge great crack descends down, and you actually see the crack joins what was once an archway. And you actually have to walk up some broken steps to get there. And the first thing you see is the stone that is now just sort of resting on the floor. As you look beyond that into the building itself, that light from the stone casting enough light to see, and then you see further on that the crumbling roof actually creates enough light further into the centre. The second thing that meets your eye is a number of what look like burned out husks, burned out bodies littered around the floor of this building.
Is it just those bodies that look like they've been burnt? And is it sort of a natural or divine flame?
I'm going to ask you to make me a
flame.
religion check.
Okay.
Or an Arcana check then.
Depends.
What are you testing for? Are you testing for a holy type flame, or are you testing for a magical flame? They are two distinct different things.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it would be whether it's normal flame or radiant. So, because obviously it could be magical, but normal flame. So, normal or so fire damage or radiant damage.
Pick one.
No, I'm saying I want to know which, I'm trying to determine which one it is out of those two.
Yeah. Right, okay, so I need you to make me a religion check, please.
Okay.
So it's basically for you to ascertain if it's radiant damage that's causes this.
Yeah, 12.
12. You're not entirely sure.
Okay. Yeah.
You've seen the damage that normal flame can do. You've seen the damage of the trees. You've also witnessed in the past how strong radiant damage can also burn things to a husk.
Is it just the husks? It's nothing around it?
There are marks on the floor around them, but whether that's just like ash marks or where parts of these creatures have crumbled away, you're not entirely sure whether it's caused by whatever caused them to erupt in flame or what. But
I'm going to look at the bodies and I'm going to use Eyes at the Grave.
okay.
I'll still have Detect Magic up for 10 minutes, I think. Let's just double check.
Okay.
10 minutes. Concentration.
Yeah. So I'll say it's been about 5 minutes or so by now, with the discussions and things that have been going on. Your Eyes of the Grave detect nothing, Kirik. There's no undead in this room.
Well, they
Or
seem to
within
be
60 feet of you, I should say, because that's the limit of the spell.
they seem to be completely dead. So
It made me feel better until you went, well, not within 60 feet anyway.
nah, you just fancy it.
61 feet, there is a wall of dead people.
Just like circling.
You just begin to hear this.
The greater good, shut it.
Is there anything on the walls, like not paintings, probably not the thing, but like any sort of markings on the wall that indicate what this place might have been?
Make me an investigation check, please.
I get advantage on those.
You said it was sort of a pyramid structure from the outside-ish.
Yikes.
It kind of looks like it makes that sort of
Ziggurat
pyramid type.
or pyramid
More
style
like a
thing.
Mayan.
If you want to use that term. Not quite. It just sort of tapers in towards the top.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
That was a 10 investigation.
10. Takes you a minute or two of looking, but as you do look and sort of brush some of the dust away from the wall, you do see gold markings. And Ander, as Kirik begins to brush this away, you now see it as a type of elven, or elvish rather, but you do not recognise it, and you cannot translate it. And there are then these, as Kirik begins to brush more away, there's also these pictographs or images carved into the wall in that same golden effect, and you can see what looks like Eladrin, or maybe elves. The dust and the decay over the years has made it a little bit difficult to make out, but some form of elvish or Eladrin like creature, and there's maybe a tree, circles of these creatures. There's just various different pictures of Fey-like folk. And this script seemingly continues on, and as far as Kirik goes.
With it being a ruin, I assume that it doesn't have any specific connection or design similar to the city that we were in before? Because that was much more tree-based, or have I got that wrong? Is there any connection in the architecture?
Make me a perception check, please.
Okay.
Oh,
19.
Now you think on it, what you realise is that the centre of the throne of Phaliad was very much built around the trees. But as you've got further out, the buildings themselves have gone to stone and more traditional methods of construction. It's almost like the heart of the city itself was born out of the trees and the rest was constructed around it using stone, using things like that.
Okay.
This area of ruins certainly seems more separate. And it's like the buildings that were here may have once ringed whatever this larger structure is. You certainly get that impression now. You think on the placement of the buildings and the architecture of the buildings, it's almost like they were leading up towards this, as if maybe this was a separate quarter of a larger city.
Does this place... So when I did my deck of many things, when I got my charisma boost, I also got the feeling that there is a place that belongs to me. It's not this place, is it?
No.
Sorry, just to clarify what you just said there, the ruins around the building we're in now are all surrounding this building, or is there an intrinsic connection to where we are now to the city we were in?
So what I'm saying is, further out from the city,
Yeah.
you get more traditional buildings.
Yeah.
This area of ruins, as they are all ruins, the positioning of the buildings looks as if they almost made rings around, leading up towards this central structure, if you like.
Right, yeah. Totally separate
like
to the city. You know, there's not like ruins all the way in between. But yeah, I get that now.
It's like downtown or something.
Yeah. Didn't you said that they had some sort of connection to the Eladrin, and he was from here? This doesn't seem like it's... I mean, it almost doesn't look like it was built by the same bloody people. It's weird. It doesn't...
No.
I mean, yeah, it's got a bit of, the same building structures, but not really. I wouldn't have... I wouldn't have said this was the same people who built it. It's odd.
No,
I don't get the architecture.
They said specifically that the ruins became ruins because of Theogoden.
Yeah, but I would have thought it would have looked the same. They would have built in the same style, wouldn't they?
They might belong to different courts here. Don't know.
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay. What are we going to find in here? What the hell burnt these bodies?
It's not the burned bodies that concerns me, is why this was a magic vacuum.
Yeah, who did it?
And why?
Timiel's Wrath, do you hear or see anything? 120 feet for hearing and dark vision.
Ander isn't saying anything at this point, and he's kind of just walking towards the centre of the column, centre of the structure, as if he's being drawn to it and he's on autopilot.
And as you ask Timiel's Wrath this question, there is something towards where Ander now walks. Something at the centre. Just at the edge of my vision. My senses.
Under.
Something.
Under. Okay, Kiri. There's something that way. Tim Millsrath can sense something.
Let's head there. Under.
I'm ignoring you.
Fucking hell.
And as
Classic.
you continue to walk forward, you now sort of go down a few steps, and you can see almost rings of... Maybe they were once like pews or seating, and they all lead up to this central structure, which in the very dim light you can just about make out. But there's a raised platform, and you see, as you approach it and get closer, the remains of maybe what was once a golden throne of sorts. But as you approach and get closer, the throne itself is broken, cracked, crumbling. There is a figure sat on it. But you now realise that the figure is a skeletal figure. And impaling both it and the throne all the way through to the floor is a very large, black, crystalline-like sword with a very, a relevantly or respectively large black metal hilt. And that just impales this body into the throne and into the floor.
I'm definitely not going to touch that.
The source of the thing that was drawing you forward, you now realise was the skeleton itself.
And because it's a skeleton, I'm not going to know if it's human or Fey or Eladrin, am I?
Make me an H check, please.
$25.
Fuck me. You and your rolls today, mate. The skeleton itself is very tall. The skull is more than being just a human. You get the impression from sort of the elongated features, the very sharp features of the skull, that this is either Eladrin or Elvish. It's a form of a Fey-touched creature, at least. You also, with that feeling of Fey, the feeling of the Fey about it, that impression just reinforces the fact that you kind of know this is some form of, as I say, Fey-touched creature. And that sort of leads you towards the elves. You...
Does he have a crown on his head?
Now you've asked the question about the crown, make me an investigation check, please.
Oh. 12.
So you step a bit closer. You don't see a crown, but what you do see around the top of the skull seems to be almost a gold shimmer. In fact, it almost looks like liquid gold has poured around the head.
Oh, good.
Fucking hell.
Crown for the king. Game of Thrones style.
No, the fucking crown melted. Sorry, fourth wall, but fuck me.
Well, I can't put that on, can I?
Please don't.
Oh shit. Just takes the skull off.
And I can't move him off the throne because he's stuck there by the sword.
Are we
I'm
like
drawn
close
to-
enough behind him? or have
Oh
we
yeah,
caught up?
you guys have followed on. You can now see exactly what I've told
I'm
you.
drawn to the skeleton though, not the throne. So, what will happen if I take the skeleton's hand? Do I get any visions? Do I go on a spirit quest? Let's see what happens.
Does Tim
Are
Mael's
you walking up and taking the skeleton's
take the
hand,
hand,
basically?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay. Dargon, you're about to ask something, sorry.
Yeah, it was just, does Tim Mael's wrath, once we get close enough, say anything like, fuck me, there it is, or I don't know?
No. I don't think it's difficult for you to realise that this is whatever thing she was talking about.
Fine, okay. As long as she doesn't go, ah!
And as you reach up and take the hand and you lift it with one, lift it with two, the bones themselves, the whole skeleton itself just, and the only thing that's left as it clatters against the throne, the broken golden throne, is what's left of the skull with the gold melted around it. The whole rest of the skeleton is just ash and dust around the throne now. And the sound of that gold on gold, that tung, 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 echoes throughout this structure.
And are you alright?
You joked about it earlier, but I'm going to pick up the part of the skull and put it on my head.
In what's quite possibly the strangest thing you've seen Ander do, having just reduced what was quite clearly some form of regal or important figure's skeleton reduced to ash, she just picks up the remnants of the skull, which is kind of like the top of the skull with the eye sockets, maybe the bridge of the nose and a little bit of the back, and just sort of places it on his head, and it's like a very bad fitting combat helmet of sorts, almost like with the brow ridges just come over the top of his eyes, the nose almost forms a bridge, but it's very wobbly on top of his head.
Can I do a sweep of the room? Is the anything moving, anyone other than us here?
Make me a perception check, please.
13.
No.
I'll assume this skull doesn't have a mouth anymore, right?
Nope.
That's out of the question then.
I'm not gonna
The
lie,
bodies around the room still do, though.
I don't have it prepared, that's the problem.
DM hint!
Am I still in a I'm drawn to this type trance, or does putting it on my head nothing happens?
It's not a trance as such, it was just like something Fey was drawing you towards the centre of the room. Now you understand what that Fey thing was. There was still some power in this skeleton, enough for you to understand and feel that underlying magical pull of the Fey.
Ander, why did you come up here? And who the bloody hell is this?
I can answer the first question. I just felt a strange Fey magic pull towards it, and I'll be honest with you, I thought putting this on might be a monumentous moment, and it might be me claiming the throne to Nylin, or I don't know what I thought might happen, but I feel a bit silly now.
Yeah, what did happen is you look like a tit.
You should probably take that off, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll ask again, what has this place got to do with the Eladrin? Was he family of this lot? Did he burn the living shit out of everyone here? Are we like...
That I don't know.
Are we like in his home? Because I thought that we thought that the Eladrin came here to hide.
Does This
Is he
sword
here?
has this sword
He's
turned
right
up in
behind you,
anybody's
Darko.
dreams? Has this
I
sword turned up in
fucking
anybody's
whip
dreams?
round.
Sorry, and
Does this sword look familiar? Has it turned up in any of your dreams?
In my dreams. Was that to me?
Yes.
Have I seen this sword then?
Make me a straight intelligence check, please.
Hearken,
Have I seen it?
only go well.
Oh,
I'll do
just
that
thinking,
too.
would I have seen it in any of my visions?
5.
Oh, would I have seen it in any of my visions? And I'll do straight intelligence check as well.
I
Yep. So give
had
me
a
a straight intelligence check, please.
16 on mine. Nice.
16 on yours, Dargon.
A grand total of 5.
5. Dargon knows nothing.
That's standard.
Kira got 16 and I got a 20.
21.
None of you have ever seen this sword before.
Okay.
Any magic coming out of it, Dogon?
I don't know.
Just make it up and change the complete narrative of the story. Just go, yeah.
You could do that to me if you really wanted to.
Yes, it's purple.
There is a very faint, and as the detect magic spell just slowly fades, you get the very faint
Sorry, I will
ebb
just
and
clarify.
flow of...
I can cast it at will, so I will just put it back on.
That's fine. Yeah, so as you put it back on, the only thing you see is the faintest flow of what looks like orange and blue sort of flowing throughout the sword.
As I misspell the place I'm going to find out what that is.
The recesses of your brain.
Yeah, that one.
For anybody that's wanting to use magical auras in their game, please check out 5e Magic Shop,
Yeah.
which does detect magic auras, and it's a really interesting
It's
mechanic.
fucking brilliant. You said orange and blues, yeah?
Orange and blues, sort of ebbing and flowing of orange and blue effects.
That's a very much mistaken, guys. I think we may have found the source of all the burning people. I wouldn't be mistaken of thinking that possibly this sword, was what caused these people to burst into flames.
So is it cursed?
I don't know whether I don't know whether it's cursed. It's very faint, so it's very hard to tell. But it's got some magical energy in it that would usually come with the elemental type of power. Whether it be fire, lightning, other things like that.
Stand at the ready then.
Has anyone touched the sword?
I seem to be the one that gets better against mind control of some kind. I will.
It says Captain Feeblemind over here.
That wasn't mind control, to be fair. So.
Oh, touche.
That was Mind Blender. Totally different thing.
I'm going to pull the sword.
So, bear in mind, this sword is massive. It's like... think Titan-sized sword, but it is driven in so far to the point where you can reach up and grasp the hilt. As you reach up and place your hand almost around the hilt, make me
There we go, boys.
a wisdom saving throw, please.
So, yeah, my next question, which could be fourth wall breaking, but I don't know, is Dargon obviously knows about this now other red-eyed, fiend. Does this look like the size of something that the Dark Eladrin could hold, or something bigger like the beast that the fiend was?
It's probably the second one, and that's not the answer we want.
I will say, for the sake of this, it's quite clearly bigger than the Eladrin can hold.
Yeah.
You've not really been able to judge accurately the size of these red-eyed creatures that you've seen.
Okay. Okay, can I make the assumption that Dargon has also thought that it's roughly the same size as Timiel, and we saw Timiel was quite big and tall, so just of that ilk? Maybe not Titan-sized, but... Or not.
I will
maybe
let Dargon make that assumption, yes.
Yeah,
And
I'm making that
it's
assumption.
Dargon, he can make that assumption if he wishes.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Kirik, your wisdom saving throw, please.
20.
Oh, good.
20.
Good.
Not good enough, unfortunately.
Oh!
As Kirik's hand closes around this sword, the gemstone in the hilt lights up,
Oh, here we go.
and this huge eruption of fire bursts out from the sword itself. I need everyone to make me dexterity saving throws. Kirik, yours is going to be at disadvantage because you're holding the sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've
13.
done an under here.
Well, I was the one with the best chance of getting it right. But...
Natural 20 for a 22.
Nice.
Nice.
Not a natural 20, but I did get 22.
Yeah, my dex is rubbish.
However, you did roll a natural 20.
I did.
So,
Half damage.
that was really loud in my ears when I rolled those dice.
Sorry.
No, that wasn't you. That was my D&D Beyond app.
Okay.
I need to mute the browser, basically. My head's now ringing. So, Ander and Kirik, you are going to take 59 points of fire damage as this
Evasion.
flame just burst out. Dargon, at the last minute, you just sort of, oh shit, dive and roll behind something. You still catch some of this flame burst as it reaches out.
I'm holding my shield,
You are
so I'd
gonna
like
take-
duck underneath that, so yeah.
You're going to take 30 points of fire damage.
Yikes.
So, can I take no damage with evasion, please?
You fucking bastard. You can as well.
No,
dick.
you will take 30 points of damage because you took the full
Did I,
brunt.
did I succeed
No.
on the saving throw?
Dargon only succeeded because he rolled a natural 20.
Ooh,
On
damn.
22.
Oh, right, we take half then, yeah.
I failed with
So
the
you
22.
both take half.
damage then.
Ooh.
So how many? 30? 52, you said, didn't you? 59.
So you take 30 points of damage.
Can I also...
Thanks, Kirik.
Can I
It's not
also
fun when somebody does it to me, it's always better the other way around.
hold? No, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'll take that.
Cool. Kirik, your hand,
Shit.
where it has touched the sword, is just this charred, blackened remnant of what it was. You can still just about move your fingers, but holding the sword, your hand and sort of your forearm is now severely burned. As you look around the corpses around the room now, you potentially understand what has caused this effect.
Ow, and like I said, think we found the source of it.
That wasn't great.
Kirik, you still alive?
Just about.
I assume he's been able to let go of it.
As I say, he's still got some limited movement of his hand. It's painful, mind you, but he is able to let go of the sword at least.
We should leave the
You do
sword
notice,
where it
however, on the
is.
inside of your hand is where your palm touched the sword itself. The fire has had no effect. So something like the inside of your hand is still intact, but the rest of your arm is just charred and blackened.
Interesting.
Are we in again immediate danger, or are we all okay? Somewhat.
Okay, so far.
Is there anything else we can learn here, or should we get the fuck out of here?
Did we see how far the fire went? As in, did it actually go outside of the building?
Make me a perception check. I'm going to say at disadvantage.
Makes sense. Natural 1 and a natural 2.
You have no idea.
Cool.
Thinking along the same lines as I was before, I will now, still holding Timael's Wrath, close my eyes and try and pray to Timael. Timael, do you know where we are? Do you know anything about where we are? We found a sword. I don't know whether it's connected to the creature that controls the Dark Eladrin, but we were in the castle that the Dark Eladrin, I think, came from or something. If you know anything and you can hear me, please let us know. Otherwise, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
So I'm going to say roll me a d20 plus your proficiency at disadvantage, please.
Okay. That I can do. That is Kirik's sheet, so that's not mine. So, yeah. It's not bad. Not bad. A natural 19 and 14, so that will be a 18.
18.
Yeah.
You feel the internal struggle trying to reach out towards Timael. And equally, whatever message comes back is garbled and difficult to understand apart from one word. And the one word that reaches your mind as Timael's, or your hand sort of instinctively tightens around the hilt of Timael's Wrath, is the word run. And as your hand tightens around the hilt, you hear this and as you turn around, 2 piercing red eyes, black leather robes. Well, isn't this a turn for the books? And we're going to leave it there tonight.
Oh no!
So, I gave you guys every chance not to investigate these ruins, to be fair. But, however, what a lot of fun that was. A brilliant RPing episode there. Well done to the crew, well done to the guys. I had a lot of fun with that one. Various characters that we got to use in that one. Some blasts from the past, as we called out in the chat. So, a lot of you will not know the story of Green Flower. It's probably the earliest of our episodes. In fact, it's episode 1 we had Green Flower and that sort of series, and there was a few bits that happened before we even started streaming. But if you want to understand more on that, please go check out those episodes, because it really is sort of the foundation for the group that we're working with now. A lot of things happen there. There's a lot that's happened in the story beyond that as well. So I encourage you to go check those out and at least understand what's happened in the past and get the context around the rest of the story. Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack next week. We've got a lot to unpack on Malt, Magic and More, so please go check that out on Wednesday night. Same place, same time, just on Wednesday night, so 8:30 on Twitch. Well, I say same time, we start at 8 tonight. I'm the DM, I don't do timings. Regardless, please go check out Malt, Magic and More. Go check out the social medias, as I've said, the social media, rather. Thank you all for watching. As it says on the screen, we do love you all. Thanks to our new followers, thanks to our old followers, thanks to all of those that continue to support us. We don't do this without you, really. We enjoy playing the game, but ultimately we want to bring this game to you. So thank you very much for joining us on this journey. Thank you to all the tools we've used as well. You've seen some of those tools come into play today, like 5e Magic Shop. The musical ambience as well has been so on point tonight, so hats off to Mr. Rix for that. And I think that's probably going to be me for tonight, so I look forward to you all joining us again next week for our next episode, where we will see what happens with Theogodin, the Dark Eladrin, and our group of adventurers. We've been the Malt and Magic crew. This has been the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin. We will see you all next week.